Hey there, welcome back friends. In this video we will talk about Spring form elements furthermore. So let's get started. So in here, for example, we try to run our existing application on our IDE. Then we would be able to see that our existing application is super simple. Firstly, we have this main controller. Let me show you. We have this main controller which loads a view by the name of hello, and then we are like simply displaying some information on the page. Well, nothing rocket science, very simple application which I have shown you in our last video. So for example, I add my name and click on submit, and then it will say hello Chand, and it will show list of team member. So as of now, no rocket science. Now moving forward, we will talk about couple of more things. As of now, let me quickly show you the view files. So in here, if I show you the existing view file hello.jsp, in here we have form elements, and these form elements are nothing but our normal HTML form elements, and we are submitting the form to this display name URL pattern. Now let me show you this main controller. So this display name controller will simply receive the information of the form, and we are making use of the old school request param annotation and initializing this first name variable, and we are then doing some stuff in here. The stuff is adding some objects in our model and view, and finally we are sending the model and view, and the model and view has the object information, and the view name is display name. Let me show you. The display name is very simple, where we are displaying the form data which is entered by the user, and then we are iterating over the object. Now as of now, this application is not making any sense. Even though we are making use of model and data, there is no power when it comes to this application, or we are not making use of model in a manner what we should actually do. So now moving forward, let me get rid of a few things. First of all, let me copy these two taglets which we will use. Let me open up Notepad and paste it in here and save a document as taglib. Alright, and now I will make some major changes in here. Firstly, I will delete the view files. We will create new view files, and when it comes to controller, I will get rid of this method, and we will only have a single method. That too, we will update this a little. In here, we will make use of get mapping, and the mapping would be based on definitely slash. Cool enough. Now this method will be based on model and view. The name of this method would be home maybe, and in our home page we will load a very simple form, right? So in here, let us quickly create an object of model and view. The name of the object would be model and view again, and it would be like new model and view, and we will give the name of the view as user form view. Cool enough. And now let me quickly create a view again, but before that we need to also return what? Model and view object. So as of now, no rocket science. Let me quickly create a view, and this view will be definitely a JSP file by the name of user form view. Good enough. Let me insert the title as user form, and before doing anything else, let me add the taglibs which we will require. We will require JSTL later down the line, and we will also require form. For this particular form, I think JSTL is not required, but let us add it right away for sake of convenience. So in here we have added the support of JSTL and Spring. Cool enough. Now let us add a form. But before that, let me quickly run this application again. So as of now, there is no rocket science, absolutely nothing. We only have the main controller which is loading our view file. That's it. No rocket science, absolutely nothing. And here is nothing on our view again. So everything is working properly, perfect. Now finally, let me add in form, right? So it would be like form, and inside this tag, we will add the form element. So it would be like firstly name colon, we will make use of a input element firstly, and as soon as we make use of this input element, you can easily make out that the path is something which is auto populated, because this path attribute is a mandate attribute. Let us do one thing, let us also add a gender field. So it would be like gender. So if the user is male, then we will give a radio button. So let us quickly do that. So it would be like form radio button. Again, there is this path. We will talk about path in a minute. We will handle it. But as of now, we need to also give value here. So value would be male. Let me copy this particular part, paste it in here, and it would be like female. Good enough. And let us also add paragraph tags. So it would be like adding a paragraph tag, and finally the submit button. Now in order to submit, there is no special submit form element. We will definitely make use of the usual submit. So it would be like type equals submit, and that's good enough. Let us also give the value. So value would be submit. Again, this looks good. All right, now let us talk about this path. All right, but before that, we will talk about the action. Now what is this action? The action is nothing but the URL pattern where we will submit this particular form. So it would be like display user info. All right, first of all, let me copy this. Let me navigate to main controller, and here we will create a post mapping what we say annotation, and it would be based on this particular what we say text which we are submitting in this form. Cool enough, no rocket science. Again, we will be creating a public method. Return type would be model and view, and we will give the name again as display user info. Good enough. Let me quickly add the return statement. All right, so now we have the method. Now friends, here is the thing. Let me show you this particular what we say form. In here we are making use of this form, and when it comes to Spring, we handle the data based on models, and these models are nothing but containers which can contain the data. And in order to create a template of a data, we will definitely make use of a class. So whenever we for example create these kind of form, we can create a equivalent model class which will symbolize the form, and which makes things very simple. So let us do that. So in here, first of all, let me create a new class. Package would be org.studyeasy.model, and the name of the class would be user. Let me click on finish, and as of now we will add two string variables, namely name and gender. All right, these would be private entity. All right, and now in here, getters and setters are very important. We have to add getters and setters in order to enable Spring to use the object. So in here we will navigate to source and generate getters and setters. Here we go, and I will also create the toString method to start with. Here we go. Now friends, these names are very important. The value of the path are nothing but these names, name and gender. So in here, let me quickly navigate to the user form view.jsp. So in here, what we will do, first of all, we need to provide a object of user type to this form itself. That is our primary target. How we can pass an object? Definitely we can pass an object in the form of model when it comes to Spring. And this object symbolize that this object can contain model as well as view, right? So a model is nothing but a data object. So in here, let us type in user equals new user. I guess the package is not imported. Let me quickly import the required package. Here we go. Now we have this user object, and now to this model and view object we will add the object. So it would be like add object. Firstly we will give the name as user, and then we will add the object user. Alright, now friends, we have this object with us by the name of user, and now we can add it to this view. So it would be like, let me show you. There is one of the attribute as model attribute, and we will simply give the name as user. Now the object user will be available to us, and we can make use of this what we say path variable, and these path will do nothing but whenever we submit the form, Spring will call in a setter method based on this path on this object user. So let me quickly do that. So in here it would be like path name, and in here path would be gender. Now friends, the overall working of this particular MVC pattern is something which we will again discuss in a greater detail, so don't worry about it if it is kind of a little difficult for you right away, but don't worry about it, we will get it going. Now again, let us navigate to main controller, and in here firstly we need to receive an object of user type. So in here we will simply type in user. Now this object is what? This is a model attribute, right? So we are simply submitting a model. As a result, in here we will make use of a annotation model attribute. Here we go. And now as of now, let us quickly create a model and view object. The name of the object would be model and view, and it would be like new model and view, and we will give a view name. A view name could be like a display user info, a good name. And in here, before displaying the information, let me do one small little thing. Let me also make use of a sysout statement, and quickly let us try to display user info. This is good, and let me also return model and view. All right, and we need to also add the object user, right? So it would be like user comma user. All right, so everything seems to be good enough except the missing view file. So let me again do that. I will simply right click and create a JSP file by the name of display user info, and without doing anything else, first of all let me add the tag lib for JSTL. Here we go, and adding a title like user info, and by taking help of this JSTL we will simply display user. Alright, so lot of stuff I suppose. Now let me quickly run this application, and I guess it should work right away. Here we go. This looks good to me. Let me add in my name. Gender is male, click on submit, and this shows us a perfect result. As of now, this is not pretty web page, but it does the work. All right, so this is how we can like handle stuff. This is how we can like pass model to different views, and this is how we can handle models under Spring. Now friends, in our next video we will deal more about model and view. We will check couple of more Spring form elements, so stay tuned, and we will also discuss couple of things related to the internal working of how exactly this works. All right, so having said that, this is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.